All right, ready to dive into something amazing. We're talking saris today, and specifically all the ways you can drape them. Get ready to take notes because some of these styles are seriously next level.
It's incredible, right? What I love about saris is how much history they hold. It's like wearing a piece of India's cultural landscape. We're dealing with a garment that's been around for centuries, styled in endless ways.
Exactly, and that evolution is what we're unpacking today. We've got this awesome article, Unique Sari Draping Styles to Make a Statement, and it's basically a masterclass in sari artistry. It's got this whole table breaking down 15 different draping styles. It's amazing.
Oh, it's a fantastic resource. It really goes beyond just the how-to and gets into the why behind each drape. Like you'll see how certain fabrics work better with certain styles, and a lot of that comes down to where the drape originated and what it represents culturally.
Okay, so let's do a really quick Saree 101. For anyone listening who might be picturing like a plain piece of fabric and wondering what the big deal
Right,
is.
right. So at its most basic, a sari is just a length of unstitched fabric, usually between 5 and 9 yards. But here's where things get interesting. It's the art of draping, the tucking, all of that turns this simple fabric into an elegant, crazy versatile garment.
It's like fabric origami or something. And speaking of artistry, our article lays out all these styles, from the classic nivy drape to stuff like the mermaid, or even wafer at the pant style. I had no idea a sari could be so adaptable.
Right, that's what makes it so cool. Saris have totally transcended trends and time.
Yeah.
They're always evolving, but still rooted in tradition.
Yeah.
Like, take the nivy style. Many people see it as the classic drape. It's
Right.
super common for formal events and special occasions, and it just shows you how elegant a simple drape can be.
Yeah, it's the one you always see in pictures. But then there are styles like the Bengali and Gujarati drapes, which are totally different in how the fabric's pleated and how the palu, that's the loose end of the sari, goes over the shoulder.
Exactly. That's where you really start to see how diverse saris are across different regions. The Gujarati style, now that's a great example. You can spot it instantly because the palu is draped over the right shoulder, while most styles have it over the left.
Wait, seriously, I had no idea. It makes you wonder, like, what's the story there? Was it something specific about that region or their culture that led to that unique way of draping?
It's the perfect example of clothing as a reflection of culture.
Yeah.
And when you look at the Gujarati drape, even the pleating's different. Instead of being tucked in at the front, the pleats are gathered and tucked at the back. Makes the fabric fall in a super graceful way.
It's those little things that make all the difference. Which reminds me, the article mentions that some drapes are considered more appropriate for certain age groups. I didn't even realize there was sari etiquette.
Oh, it's less about strict rules and more about, you know, traditions changing over time, cultural nuances, like a flowier drape, maybe the Gujarati style, might be more popular with younger women because it's easy to move in. Meanwhile, someone older might go for a more traditional drape like the nivy for a formal event.
Wow, that's fascinating how these unwritten style guidelines get passed down, right? Like, who decided a certain drape looks better on a particular age group? I'd love to know more about the history of sari styling.
Oh, we could spend a whole nother deep dive on just that. But let's stick with the styles themselves for now. You were saying you like the more unexpected ones, right?
Yeah.
Well, this article delivers. There's everything from mermaid style to pant style, even a cape style.
I know, right? When I saw that, I was like, wait, you can wear a cape with a sari? That's such a cool blend of styles, like high fashion meets tradition.
And that's exactly why the sari appeals to such a modern audience. It's not stuck in the past. It's a blank slate for new interpretations and personal expression.
And the article makes a big deal about that there's no one right way to wear a sari. It's all about finding what makes you feel confident and beautiful.
Exactly. It's about rocking the look, expressing your own style. In a lot of ways, the sari is about celebrating what makes you unique while staying connected to tradition. So tell me, what are you thinking so far? Any styles grabbing your attention, ones you'd want to try?
Oh, tons. I'm really intrigued by the Gujarati style now. I love that it drapes differently and the whole history behind that. And the mermaid style with its fitted shape and flowing fabric, so elegant.
Those are great choices. That mermaid style has gotten so trendy lately, even popping up on runways internationally. Pretty amazing how a traditional garment can be given a modern twist and still look incredibly elegant.
That's what gets me about the sari. It's like a bridge between then and now, blending tradition with modern trends so seamlessly. Speaking of, the article also mentions a lehenga-style sari, and I gotta admit, I was a little lost on that one. Isn't a lehenga a totally different outfit?
You're right, a lehenga is usually a two-piece thing, a long skirt and a blouse. But that's the beauty of the sari. You can drape it in ways that make it look like separate pieces. So the lehenga-style sari, you're basically draping one piece of fabric to get that same look, big skirt, fitted top.
Wow, that's wild. It's like a magic trick, but with fabric. Makes you really appreciate how much skill and precision goes into sari draping. Like, seeing these styles in photos is one thing, but actually mastering them must take forever.
Oh, for sure. It's a true art form passed down for generations. In a lot of Indian families, mothers and grandmothers teach the younger women how to drape saris. That's a beautiful thing, really. Connects them to their heritage.
It really makes you think about how clothing can be so much more than just what we wear, right? It can be a connection to our ancestors, a way to keep traditions alive. Okay, I have to ask, what about these modern takes, like the pants style or the cape style? Do those have any traditional roots, or are they totally new inventions?
Such a good question. Those styles, like the pants style and cape style, are definitely more recent, but they're still drawing inspiration from traditional Indian clothes, like the pants style sari. That kind of mirrors the look of a dhoti, which is a traditional men's garment in parts of India.
Oh, that makes sense. It's like they're taking bits and pieces from different eras of Indian clothing and blending them into something new and exciting. What about the cape style? Where'd that come from?
The cape style is really interesting. It shows how adaptable the sari is to other cultural influences. The idea of a cape itself might not be traditionally Indian, but the way they work it into the sari drape often takes cues from traditional shawls or dupattas that are commonly worn with other Indian outfits.
So it's like a global meets local fashion fusion. It really shows how the sari can evolve and still resonate with different cultures and generations.
Yeah.
Going through all these styles, I'm realizing the sari is way more than just an outfit. It's like a form of self-expression, a way to show off your personal style and where you come from.
You got it. The way you drape it, the fabric you choose, even the accessories, it all tells a story. And it's not just about looking good. It's about embracing your background, celebrating your individuality, and making a statement without even saying a word.
I love that. Okay, before we go too deep down that rabbit hole, let's swing back to the table in the article. There are still a few styles we haven't talked about yet. The dhoti style, which you mentioned earlier, is kind of menswear inspired. And then there's the belted style, which, I don't know, just sounds cool.
Those two are such great examples of how the sari can play with those traditional ideas of femininity, embracing something more androgynous or modern. The dhoti style, with all the draped fabric and comfortable shape, gives you so much more freedom of movement. It's gotten super popular with women who want a less traditionally feminine look.
Yeah, I totally see that. Breaking down those old ideas of what it means to dress feminine or masculine. Okay, what about the belted style? Am I right in picturing a regular sari drape, but with, well, a belt?
Exactly. That one's amazing because it shows how a simple accessory can completely change the look of a sari. Throwing on a belt could be a thin, metallic one or a wider fabric one. It accentuates your waist, adds a modern touch, and can even create a different silhouette altogether.
It's amazing how one small detail can make such a big difference. Looking at this table, I'm just blown away by how many different styles there are, each one with its own history, cultural meaning, and just like visual appeal. It's almost too much. How do you even decide which one to try first?
That's the best part. There's no right or wrong. It's all about what you like and what speaks to you. Maybe you're into the elegance of the Bengali drape, or maybe the modern vibe of the pant style is more your speed. Experiment, have fun, and find what makes you feel amazing.
You're right. It's all about that journey of discovering your own personal Saree style. It's like this whole adventure, and the article is just the starting point.